soul to soul, soul to soul.
Lies has speed, but this truth has stamina. Welcome to the show. Today we have brother Nirwan from Trinidad. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you very much.
Tell us something about your culture.
Well, my culture, I'm from Trinidad, the Caribbean, West Indies, and I know one way in which the Caribbean and India is linked is by cricket. And in Trinidad, I would say one of the main cultures, like once there's a cricket match in the Oval where another country is coming down, or there's some test match playing, that really unites people, it brings people together. So that's one main aspect of culture. And another thing about the culture of Trinidad is that we're very laid back people. You know, we have a very relaxed and laid back personality. And I would say that really over the years developed our culture in terms of we do not take maximum stress when things happen. You know, we just have this very relaxed nature, and I would say I'm accustomed to it, and it works. Now that I'm here in India, you know, it's a little bit different, a little more fast-paced, but still, it's enjoyable.
Were you very religious?
No, as a matter of fact, when I was born, me and my twin brother, we were born directly into this gyan, into this knowledge. So in terms of my devotion background, I really didn't have any as a background before because I was born directly into this. So my knowledge of the devotion and so on, my parents would be more versed with that, you know, unlike me. I just have knowledge of this Raja Yoga and on the meditation and so on.
How different did you find yourself from others?
Oh, that's a very interesting question, because you would find people who has this attitude that they have to do as their parents do. So whether it be consuming alcohol, drugs, and they think it's good, it's a good feeling, because by default the parent does it when they're stressed. So the children see the parents doing it and they says, hey, I'm getting some stress, let me do this. And so when they reach in school the next day, they said, you know, I got a really good feeling doing this, you should do it. And they tell me that, they tell my brother that. But we say, you know, I've been brought up in a very spiritual background with good teachings, I accept it, I enjoy it, and so I'm not interested in taking part. So in terms of difference, I would say yes, very different. Like a difference like day and night in terms of friends. So it just shows how much friends I have, right? But at the end of the day, it's a lifestyle that I truly enjoy, and so I would not give anything for it.
Was spirituality forced on you?
Spirituality, I was exposed to it all my life, but it was forced to me maybe in my beginning years, maybe the first 14, 15 years of my life. I really never accepted it or enjoyed it as much because it was forced onto me. But in life, I got my own life experiences from broken relationships, mistrust with friends, and I would say I've been searching on the outside. I've been speaking to people. Hey, you know, my heart is broken. How can I heal it? What can I do? And again, my mom just said, you know, come Raja Yoga and you will learn to stop being so unhappy. I said, fine, I'll come. So, you know, I went to a meditation session, and I think that was the start of it all, where I accepted, you know, I just felt like my heart being fulfilled, being renewed. And that was a very beautiful feeling. And I would say, before it was forced onto me, but after that, after my life's experiences, I accepted it fully without any questions, because I knew that Baba is the only one that can heal me, and forever that will be the situation.
How was your lifestyle?
Currently?
No, before this knowledge.
Before. My lifestyle before, I was very loud, very extroverted. I was always interested in trying new things, doing the norm as what my friends are doing, visiting the new clubs, the new pubs, and so on. Of course, one part of my Brahmin life I never gave up for anything. It was my food and diet, and my personal principles. So I would say that I held on to from birth. But other things in terms of, my parents would always say, no relationships, they're no good for you. And they kept saying that year after year. And I said, you know, they always say don't go in a relationship, but my friends look so happy in them. And so I tried it. And I would say before Gyan, that's where I was. I was getting my happiness from those relationships. And it's only when the relationship was finished, I realized I need something more. This is too limited. I need something unlimited. I need something that would give me constant happiness. And that is where the BKs came in.
How different do you think so you are from others?
Oh, very different. Because as a matter of fact, people have this lifestyle of, hey, I'm 26 now, time to get a girlfriend or time to get a boyfriend, spouse, and settle down, and have kids. And they think it's a normal lifestyle. They get happiness from it. Of course, it is a happy lifestyle. But for me, if I perform that lifestyle, if I have that lifestyle, it won't bring me full happiness, because I have so many things I want to do as an individual for myself and things that I enjoy. And if I have a family, they would be deterring me from fulfilling that complete happiness that I want. So in terms of difference, even in my workplace, when my co-workers, they have their kids, and when it's their birthdays or Christmas, they have to spend so much money behind them. They have to have so much advanced planning. They have to dress up as Santa Claus and drop the gifts under the tree. So for me to save myself from all those things, it's good. It is happiness, but not happiness for me. It's what I enjoy. I enjoy silence, bliss, love, my fellow brothers in my country, my brothers that I meet here from all over the world, in India, in this youth retreat. And it's beautiful. It absolutely is beautiful. So in terms of, if you would ask, how different am I would say very different, and I love it.
Tell us about your academic life.
My academic life, I studied chemical engineering at the University of the West Indies. I graduated 2 years ago, and since then I have been working as a trainee chemical engineer for one of the oil and gas industries in Trinidad. And chemical engineering, I really started it because I thought that it would be dealing more with chemistry. Chemistry is my favorite subject of all times. But what I realized is that it has more physics and maths and so on in it. So after my first year, I wanted to drop out. I didn't have any interest towards it. But so I went up to my dad and I said, hey, I'm not happy doing this. He says, well, you're good at math, right? I said, yeah, I like the math. He says, well, fine, do it and we'll see what happens after the second year. After the second year, I got an interest. After the third year, I loved it. And I said, hey, you know what, this is good for me. It doesn't make sense wasting time jumping from career to career. There's never one career that you're going to fully accept and fully love. So whatever is in your life, you have to give that full thought until you love it. And I think that's the point where I've reached.
Did you thought that you left everything?
No, because in the first place, I never even took part in it. I saw my friends doing it. I was very upset when I've been told, no, you can't go there. You're not allowed to go there. And at that point, that was I would say the first 15 years of my birth. I was very upset because I wanted to know what they're doing. They come in school the next day, they're talking about it, it's so exciting. So I personally felt I'm missing something because I did not accept what I have. Baba, there's BKs, my Brahmin family. And so at that point, yes, I did feel I was missing something. But after accepting this, I realized that it is happiness, but it doesn't last for long. You just end up wasting money, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your energy. Now, I spend my weekends with my family, if not BK family, my low-kick family. I spend my weekends as well doing service in the centers, and wherever my help can be needed in a worthwhile way, I give that energy. At first it wasn't easy to accept, but as I said, you give something continuous energy, eventually you're going to love it. And that's what happened with me.
Tell us about your good experiences with God.
With God, it's always a tricky subject, because that sometimes you would sit and meditate, you expect a certain experience, but it doesn't always come. You give a question to God. He doesn't always get back an answer at the same time. So that's why I say it's tricky. But I would say some of my good experiences with God would have to be when, in my school days, I really needed help in my university. I never understood fully the work at first. And I always tell, God in my evening meditations and morning meditations, hey, I'm not good at this. I'm not understanding this. It feels as though my intellect is locked. And I'm always comparing myself to others. I'm always in this comparison. Look, he's better than me. She's doing this. Why am I not there yet? And I'm always having these. And yet I'm not getting these answers from God. Because what I realize is that I go and I start quickly, talking, laying out every single thing, thinking that is not meditation. But no, the minute I start doing that, what God does? He turns his back on me, because he's not interested when I'm just speaking and I'm not giving him a chance. But if I go and I sit there in silence, he opens his arms for me. He says, you want an answer? here's my answer. You sit in that silence and you get it. So some of my best, most profound, beautiful experiences as a Brahmin would be when I spent it in deep, deep silence. As a matter of fact, maybe a year or 2 years now, I've fully stopped asking God questions. In terms of, I just go sit in silence. I allow Him to just read what's in my mind with silence. You must be in silence. And once you're in that silence, God is able to read your mind, and so an answer would come, whether in the next day's daily teachings of the Murli, or whether by having a simple conversation with your neighbor, something. But spend the time in silence, I guarantee the answer is going to come. It has to come, because you gave that silence to God.
What type of relation do you have with God?
Oh, beautiful. I love my relationship with God. It is such a simple one. I consider myself a child, and God as the Father or the Satguru. In terms of when I get a new experience, or when you get a realization from someone, I would consider that as God being the Satguru, my true teacher, in terms of if I'm doing something for years, and it's a wrong way of doing it, and then one day someone comes up to me and says, hey, this is not how this is done, this is how it's done. And so my first instinct would be to get upset with that person. But if I really just stop and pause and really think what's happening here, I would realize it's a lesson in a disguise coming to me. Yes, maybe in the form of anger, maybe in the form of that person's nature. But if I stop and I pause and I really allow myself to listen to what's happening, I realize that it's just a message from God. And so in that way, I consider God as my Sadguru. But generally, I experience God as my father, my friend, most of the times.
Don't you get influenced by the outside world?
If I'm missing something in my life, yes, I do get influenced. So of course there are times where, I'm not able to meditate much because of my busy schedule at work or something happening in my life, whether it be a death in the family or so on, and you're busy back and forth with your family, right? At those times, I realize it's so critical to spend the time in silence, because when you're busy exerting energy every single place, and you don't take that time to recharge, what's going to happen? You're gonna feel mentally, physically drained. Even though you're not doing much, you're going to feel drained because you're constantly giving energy and not recharging. So I would say that yes, in those times when my energy is low, you look for the easiest thing to grab that you feel is energy, and you feel it would make you feel good. So it's an experience that I would say I'm still working on, but it's not as gross as before. When I say before, I mean before my fully acceptance of this Brahmin life. I would see something, I would say, that looks good, but it's not for me. So it's just a matter of always recharging yourself, so you are reminded that this is not good. This won't give me permanent happiness. And so constant reminders of that would make you and get you where you want to be.
Did you ever thought of getting married?
Of course. Back in my home, there would be arguments with my mom and myself and my brother and my other siblings about, why can't we get married, Who is this that's saying that we shouldn't get married? Marriage is the way of life. But life is such a beautiful way that, yes, it's true, there are many beautiful girls, thoughts do come. I said, to be so beautiful to get married one day, have my little ones running around, we take some trips to the beach. I've thought it all, I've thought about everything. And I said it's so beautiful, and yet my mom, with her firm hand, she would say, no, don't get married, because she has so much faith, so much love for God. And this is what, she is hearing from God. Like, she only wants the best for us. But of course, she's saying it as how she knows it. And so, I never accepted at first, but in my work, in my school, I realized, teenage pregnancies, people, they're now having their newborn, they have to have commitments at work. So you have to see about children, come to work. When your child is sick, you have to rush out of work. Work is being piled up when you leave. All of these things, really? Do I need that? No. So I have a decision in life, that's good. But what I love about it is how they bring certain situations there to show you why you don't want to do what you don't need to do. And I think for me, that has firmly grounded. So it's like you're walking and the steps are being placed in front of you. No effort. You're seeing all of the decisions that you made in life. You're seeing it firmly why you made those decisions. So the thoughts are there, but I would say I don't entertain it anymore, because I know firmly what I want.
Are you self-content?
Yes, I'm self-content. Because without contentment, you don't enjoy anything. You're always comparing, you're always saying what you don't have. But when you just look at what you have, you're truly content. Nothing more than that.
People are after money, are you?
Money is something that always comes in time, but when you look at it, like for instance, in Trinidad and India, we're halfway around the world. And so it takes a lot of money to come to India. And I try to make this trip every year if possible. So if I could get an increase in my job, of course, that would be great. But at the end of the day, I know my priorities, which, of course, one of them, I have to be in India year after year for this retreat, because nothing throughout my year brings as much benefit as this. Even though we have our senior sisters and brothers from around the world visit Trinidad, they inspire us, it's good. Maybe for a week, 2 weeks. But when you come Madhuban here, when you come India, and you learn so much, it's beautiful. So yes, I would say I am after money, but for my intentions, my things that would benefit me, not things of the world. I was interested in that maybe long ago, but now I would say I just look at things that would benefit me, things that I really need, and things that I would enjoy and make myself a happy person. That's my main purpose for money.
Tell us about your first experience with God.
My first real experience I would say I had with God would have been in 2006. Because my first trip to India was in 99, but so my second trip was in 2006. That was when I finished my school education, my secondary school education, and I had a year off. And I said, so my dad was coming India, and he said, okay, so you have some time, you want to come India with me? I said, at first I thought India, the dust, the long travels, getting up early in the morning, the cold. No, I can't do that. I'm not interested in that. I want to stay at home and watch TV. And he said, no, come with me. You're not doing anything. So I said, that's fine. So I came in 2006. That's where I first met Daddy Chunky. And she's giving all of the double foreigners, the people from all around the world, gifts. And I'm like, but what did I give to her for she to give me a gift? And I realized even the people who were serving the food everywhere, they're just doing everything out of love. And in my mind, I was like, whoa, the day I can have that much love, pigs would fly. I would never do something that selflessly for others, right? And so when I really sat and meditated, at those days, I really wanted to find out who I am, because I never accepted myself fully. So I would get up early in the morning, earlier than Amrit Vela. So I would get up at 2:30, 3 o'clock around, and you go to different meditation rooms and sit. And what I've been getting was an accumulation of experiences where I've been experiencing God is telling me, welcome, first of all, to His home. I'm just getting that deep feeling of welcome, not just in my meditations, but people who you meet. They're so warm-hearted. And once you meet a warm-hearted person, what do you feel? You feel warm inside. So that was the start of it all. And then, it's like I would just write a personal little letter to God and put it in the box that's designated for that. And would you believe, whether having a conversation afterwards or the morning early, the answer comes. And I said, whoa, how do you do it? Even though these things are pre-written, how do you know I'm going to write a letter and that answer is for me? So I would say my first deep, real, beautiful experience of my experience with God was where I had so many questions. I wrote it all out like an innocent child, waiting for Santa. And I just put it there. And I smiled and I left. And easily, in the most beautiful way, the answers would come one by one by one until my fate was fixed. And I became a lot more, I took one step on the higher pedestal from where I was. And that experience in 2006 started and made me where I am today and who I am today.
Do you think so? Life is so easy?
This life?
Yeah.
No, it isn't. They always say it's an easy Rajyogi life, but it isn't. The fact is it isn't. Because when you come, temptations are going to come to have a relationship. And I just want to confirm something. Having a relationship isn't wrong, You know what's wrong? The intentions, the feelings behind it, the attachment that is bringing with that relationship. Because look, I'm meeting so many people from all around the world. And what I'm getting is a feeling of attachment, but an attachment in which I can learn from. And I love this relationship. As a matter of fact, I don't want to leave here because of my different relationship with my brothers and sisters. Having this relationship with with people around, it's good. Because you can act as an inspiration. But you can only act as an inspiration if your source of power comes from only one, and your source of inspiration comes from only one. And if you can do that, people are naturally inspired by you and attracted by you. And when someone is attracted by you, and you speak pearls of knowledge, means knowledge from God. No questions about it. They're going to get what they want, and they're going to feel that your intentions are pure. And that's the thing. Few people in this world live with pure intentions. Everyone always does something with getting back. When I give this to you, I hope that I can get back something. You know, that's the way we're living. People are not genuine. So that's why I would say it's not an easy life, because when you start, you realize that your intentions have to be pure. And that's not an easy thing, fixing those intentions. You really, really, really have to have that love for God. You really have to. Have that love for God. It takes some time. It's like getting up every morning and saying good morning to God. That's the first step of it. And then throughout your day, you're inculcating God in different ways. Whether remembering Him, just writing a little chat, checking how you are, and letting God know, hey, you're here and I'm right next to you. I'm not going anywhere. And in that way, you're getting to know God, and that deepens your relationship. But you have to make the effort to go towards Him. He won't come towards you without you making the effort to get to Him. And that's my experience. So it's an easy life, yes, when you make the effort in the foundation stages.
What is the aim of your life?
To be the best person that I can be. The aim of my life, really, it is, I always feel that people are ill-treated in this world. And I have been ill-treated as well. And I said, that's something that hurts. A whole lot that hurts. And one way I want to be is a good person, in that if someone comes up to me, no matter how busy I am, no matter what problem I have, I want to push that aside and help you. So, as I said, my aim in my life, to be the best person that I can be, and to help others at any given point if I can help them.
If you wouldn't have been a BK, then what would you have been?
If I wouldn't have been a BK, I think I would have been one of those guys helping and consuming the rum shops, the alcohol shop, really and truly, because the friends I have, the company that I kept, you know, the influences that I see on TV, it's simple. Yeah, it's really simple. It looks like a good lifestyle, you know, and until you really look at it and know it. So I would say God really held my hand, and I must count my blessings every single day for me to be where I am to be, how happy I am, and for the people that I meet on a daily basis.
Where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
10 years from now, I see myself as a person successful in a managerial position in my field. And I want to be someone that can give an experience to others as in a managerial position. Not as I'm forcing you to do work, but you're doing work with love. You love to work with me. In terms of what I'm giving you, what I'm teaching you, it inspires you more than... I want to be a person where the people who are working for me, or the people who I'm working with, when they get up of bed in the morning, they can say, hey, I'm going to work with him today. I'm excited to start my day. You know, I want to be that kind of person. I want to give that type of energy, because that is so good. I know a few people like that, and I love the energy. It's like when you go to someone and naturally they make you feel good. I want to be a person like that. That's my physical aim with my job. But my spiritual aim, as I said, I want to be a better Brahmin. I want to be someone who can apply these teachings that I'm hearing every single day. I want to apply it more and more. I want people to come to me. I want to share my experiences that I've learned. I want people to learn what I have learned. And I want people to be better than me. That's my aim.
Please share one of your experience you wanted to share with youth.
With the youth, I would say that it is a very difficult time we're living in now, where we see the common thing is a complicated relationship, or family problems, or, you know, even friends, this matter of self-respect. And you find that with the youth, they're under so much pressure, yet you're so young. But you have a report card that you're frightened to show your parents. As a matter of fact, there was a story in Australia where one of the youth, his report card wasn't good. Do you know what he did? He jumped off a 15-story building because he has that much fear of showing his parents his report card. How can you let a youth, a young mind, someone who is going to rule this country one day, or help in ruling this country, how can you let someone live in that much fear? So that's why I would say that the youth, it is a very difficult time. No questions about that. I know a lot of people says, oh, it's the older generation after that have all the responsibilities to pay the bills and so on. But no, that's not true. The youth have that responsibility as well. Now we're seeing it. So my message for the youth: hold courage, hold faith. Don't let go of God's hand. Say your prayers every single morning, every single evening. Make that time for God. It is important. And your relationships, if you find that there are relationships that are sinking you in your life, it's simple. Move away from it. You don't need that energy in your life. Get good energy. You're young. You need to have your self-respect up. And then only in that way, people are going to respect you. And once your self-respect is up, and you go in for a job interview, as a matter of fact, even though the difficulty of jobs in this world today, including my own country, even though the difficulty to get a job, if your self-respect is high, if your determination, your willpower is high, and you go in a room to get an interview, people won't even look at the questions they're asking you. They will just pick up your energy and say, hey, we need someone like you to work with us. Why is that? Because in the world today, when you go in every place, in every workplace, or most of the workplaces, the energy is always low. It's about throwing each other under the bus so that your name can be glorified, or it's about, what can I do better than you? It's not about helping others no more. So I would say for the youth, hold your self-respect, hold your courage, have that willpower, and you're going to get what you want. You're going to get what you want.
Thank you for talking with us.
Thank you very
so
much.